Alright, I'm even giving myself a few seconds grace period. I'm hoping this camera stays put. There we go. I know there's a lot of internet videos of men a lot younger than me jumping around, doing push-ups, doing backflips, doing this, that, the other thing. I'm not even going to listen to music. But I don't even know if I'll put this video on public. I might just keep this one for private. I'm used to my old boss, who I called Master Yoda. What I really could do is take video footage of myself jumping rope each and every day, and while jumping rope, give a speech to try, to make better use of my time. I know like women are supposed to be the paragons of multitasking, but that's one thing that I've tried to get better at over the years is multitasking. Recently, I wrote a letter to someone in South Carolina about currency. And right now, there's a 50-cent piece in my left shoe, and that indeed is currency. I think that if you took the 50-cent piece out of my shoe and went to 90% of the civilizations in the world, you could probably get something for that little coin. Maybe an apple, maybe a handful of rice. I know I can still get a postage stamp down at the corner at the post office. Probably won't be long and stamps will be more than 50 cents, and then I'll be out of luck. But I say this over and over again, the currency that all people share, be it men, women, Chinese, Japanese, Americans, Canadians, Mexicans, even the French, we all share the currency of time. Now, I imagine there's probably some tribe in the Amazon that doesn't have stopwatches, doesn't have timers on the refrigerator to cook cookies, but they still know what the sun is, and they know the sun goes up, and they know the sun goes down, and they know that there's seasons of the year. Like, the concept of time is universal to all human beings, that's for sure. Like years, seasons, moons, days. And I'm pretty sure that every language in the world has had a word for the word day, and probably the word year, and the word season. Now, times are tight with regards to currency of money. I mean, I've been working at my job now for 9 going on 10 years, and I think in all that time, we've gotten one substantial raise. It's just kind of in the way of the world, like money's tight. But time is constant. I mean, everybody has 24 hours in a day, everybody has 60 minutes in an hour, everybody has 60 seconds in that minute. What I've been trying to do is just become a master, an absolute master of using my time wisely, and using my time to make myself a better asset to the world and a better asset to society, and trying to make the world a better place. I think that's why I've invoked the slogan, do something brave each and every day, because I feel fearless. I really do. Like, there's a lot going on in my life right now, and I made a new video entry folder, I should say. I made a new folder on my computer to store some videos in, and I've called those the Achilles Saga. I'm getting old. I'm like on the doorstep of 40 years old, and I've never ever really had an injury to speak of in my life. But for the first time ever in 40 years, I can tell that I'm injured. I know, like, professional football players you know, they get their knees and their elbows and their shoulders scoped all the time, and they have surgeries. I have never ever had a surgery, but for once I can feel that my Achilles tendons, there's just not something right with them. I mean, perhaps it's been my life of jump roping. When you jump rope for 6, 8, or 12 hours in a row without stopping, that does put a strain on your Achilles. And I've come to realize that unless I get some cybernetic parts, I'm never going to be able to jump rope 28 hours in a row. God makes men what they are, and He just did not design my body to jump rope 28 hours straight. It's time to come to that conclusion and accept it and kind of move on. Come to another realization with my regards to my employment with the state of Wisconsin. I think that God has made me in such a way that I'm not destined to fit in with the state of Wisconsin at my current position. I think my heart's too big. I've talked a lot to my coworkers lately, because if I'm going to be leaving the job, I don't want it to be a negative thing. Like, things happen for a reason. I really haven't made many friends at the workplace because I always kind of knew in my heart that someday I would be leaving that place, and I didn't want anybody to feel sad or feel upset or feel disappointed, you know, that I was leaving them behind, because I'm a type of man that never gives up on anything. Even though I just said like a minute ago that there's no way I'll ever be able to jump 28 hours in a row straight with a jump rope, doesn't mean I'm gonna still think about it, and I'm gonna still dream about it and still try every once in a while. I'll probably rent the Rocky Saga again later down the road from Family Video and have another crack at it, see how it goes. Some people just learn the hard way. But I really feel that something positive is going to come out of me leaving my current job. I never really fit in well in the workplace. I remember my first job as if it was yesterday. I was 16 years old, and a new Hardee's restaurant opened up in Amro, Wisconsin. And I remember there was this charismatic guy who was the manager of Hardee's. He came to the Amro High School. His name was Randy the Dandy. He interviewed, I'd say, about 30 kids looking for a job, and he liked me right away. Very smart, very articulate, very confident, even though I was really shy, but I was confident in the job interview because I thought that, you know, I would do well working at a job. And I always wanted to have a little extra pocket money and start saving for college, because back in those days things were kind of tight, kind of like they are now for a lot of people. So anyway, I got the job, and more so, I was given the title of crew leader, which is basically like a supervisory role at the restaurant. And I love that role because I think I'm a good leader. Now, my leadership style is a lot different than a lot of other people's. For example, what a crew leader needs to do is tell one of the crew members to take out the garbage, or to clean the fry bin, or to scrape the grill and get all the grease off the grill. Instead of me saying, you do that, what I would do is help them do that and talk to them while we were doing it. If it was take out the garbage, I'd take a bag. The person I wanted to take out the garbage would take the bag, and we'd go out together, throw the bags into the dumpster. It'd be a quick job, and the thing is, I get to learn a little bit something about the member of the crew. First of all, I could find out if that crew member was appreciative of me helping them out, or if they were resentful for me helping them out. I've always been really good at reading people, reading their emotions. It's all in the eyes, and I guess that's why I'm such a big fan of eye contact. The eyes say everything. I mean, the lips, the body. For me, it's always been about the eyes. But anyway, that style of leadership really didn't go too well because it really conflicted with Randy the Dandy's style of leadership. He was a, you take out the garbage, you clean out the fire bins, you scrape all the grease off the grill. Because he was the boss, you know, he felt like he needed to give orders. So he didn't like my management style, so to speak. So what he did is I eventually got demoted. And the reason I got demoted was this. One of the jobs of the crew leader was at the end of the shift at night. They were responsible for counting all the money that the restaurant made and make sure that it matched the receipts. So let's say we sold $8,000 worth of food at Hardee's. What I would have to do is count all the money and make sure all $8,000 was accounted for. Now, I must be honest. There are some videos on Facebook, I believe, where I am doing push-ups and I can't count to save my soul. For some reason, I always say 50 push-ups when I actually do 49. And I don't know why that is. So nowadays, usually I just do, let's say, 49, 50, 51, 52. I always do a little extra just to make sure that I get my 50 push-ups in. But what Randy the Dandy said is that consistently my drawer was being short all the time. $20 here, $5 there, $10 there. So I guess what he was implying is that I was kind of lacing my own pockets with money from the drawer after I was done counting it. So I got demoted. That kind of sucked because I'm a very prideful creature, and I think he thought that me getting demoted would be enough to shame me out of the place. But no, that wasn't the case. I had a lot of friends that worked there. I had my buddy Big Al, who's been my best friend ever since high school, and I also had my best Anamkara friend Amalia, who worked there, and I had a lot of other friends that worked there too. And I wasn't about to just pack up my pride and leave, so I took the demotion and I just worked as a regular grunt, and I found out that I liked that a lot better. And I realized that there are two positions that I think I would shine in with regards to any job, and that is the absolute supreme commander, that is the general of the army, or the lowest of the low in the trenches grunt. Because I really shined as just a regular employee, and I think that was my undoing. What happened next at Hardee's is I was always on time, had perfect attendance, and for good reason. If you had perfect attendance and never were late at Hardee's, you received this card that gave you, I think it was either 3 or 5 free meals on Hardee's. And being a teenage boy, I was all about the free eats. So one day I came into work and noticed that the schedule had been changed. The schedule was written on the wall on a piece of paper with pencil, and someone had erased the 4 or whatever number was there and changed it to a 2 or a 3 or whatever. But anyways, the long story short, I was late for the first time at work. So I talked to Randy the Dandy and challenged him, and I said, well, did you change the schedule? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, how come I wasn't told, you know? I mean, I'm not supposed to come in each and every day to make sure that the schedule doesn't change. And then, right then and there, he fired me for insubordination. And it was a really, really sucky moment, because I just realized right then in that moment And I was just completely powerless. There's nothing I could do. I mean, he had all the power in the situation. And I went home, and I remember I just told my stepmom I got fired, went in my room, closed the door, and I just cried. Because I was so frustrated. And I made a kind of decision right then and there that I am not going to be put in that position ever again. And as I grew older, I realized that there was something that Abraham Lincoln said. And that was, you know, any man can endure hardship. Like any man can endure hardship. To test a man's character, you got to give him power. You know, I guess Randy the Dandy had the power in that situation, and he thought it was best that I should be let go from the establishment of Hardee's. Now, Abraham Lincoln also said that what did he say? Something about a client. Let's see, an attorney that has himself, a man that represents himself in court has a fool for a client. I believe it's something like that. Well, recently I kind of proved old Abe wrong by representing myself in the court case about my dear beloved backyard, which is just over there to the right. And I think I might have to prove Abe wrong again, because after a lot of thinking and a lot more years have gone by since that episode at Hardee's, power is all, it's just an illusion. Like I don't think I can say honestly that I can't think of anybody that has power over me. You know, the policeman could come here and say, you know, you're disturbing the peace by jumping rope in your shirt because you're old and you're hairy and gross, and the little kids across the street are screaming and are going to have nightmares and going to need to go to therapy. And he could, you know, lock me in chains, throw me into a deep dark hole where I'll never see a camera or a jump rope or the sun again. A lot of people would say that policeman had power over me, but that's not true. It's not true. I'm always going to have my mind, my thoughts, and my ideas, and I will always make the world a better place with them. Now, history is repeating itself. I really think that the reason my Achilles tendons are sore is because a man named Troy is trying to pull a Randy the Dandy on me. And Achilles, after all, did meet his end in Troy.